Shubadee-I. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why do I continue? Close that one. Do that one like that. And this is the save letter ending. Even if it kills me this time. Even if I'm barely alive. Nah, I don't need anything else but this. Alright, would you like to resume? Yes. Seriously? Seriously? Oh wait, hold on. That's fine. I needed to click it. I am stupid from time to time. Very fucking stupid from time to time. Alright, yes. The door's open. Given the circumstances, Junpei's happiness was certainly understandable. Ace seemed to share his excitement. Alright, Junpei, why don't you go ahead and get to June? Yeah. Then the cock and I will keep an eye out on this door. Why do I need to do that? Even if we should, we know how to solve the puzzle now. We could just open it again. Well, I suppose that's true. Shall all three of us go and collect June then? Nah, I'm cool. I'll let Junpei handle it. You seemed irritated by something. However, I sat down. There must be something wrong with the translations. And sat down on the stairs petulantly. So you are only interested in being contrary. A signed. Okay. Alright, I'll get June. I'll be back. He gave a quick nod to Ace and Cock and dashed off to the stairs. Before long, he was back on the first floor next to the conveyor belt and June. As we drew close, she stood up slowly. Are you okay? He did his best to sound calm and nonchalant, but there was no hiding the genuine concern in his voice. Yes, I'm fine now. I'm sorry I made you worry. June blushed. Blushed? No, not blushed. The fuck you mean blushed? Blushed. The fuck? I'm fine now. Sorry to make you worry. June blushed. He wasn't sure if she was embarrassed or still feverish. Just to make sure, he reached out and put his head against her forehead. Good. You're feeling a lot better. She was feeling far less warm than she had earlier, but still wasn't down to what seemed normal to him. Are you sure you're alright? He had to be sure. June gave him a look. Oh, you're such a warrior? You're such a warrior? You mean warrior? Because warrior is something else. What is with this game? The typos are so lame. What the fuck was that? Why am I coughing like I'm smoking? What the fuck? I haven't smoked in years. Regardless. Oh, you're such a warrior, Jumpy. Oops. I mean, warrior. Oh. June giggled. Never mind that I cannot take back what I said, but I was wrong. He wasn't sure if he just made a joke or not. What the fuck? Seems to be right now, I guess. That was fucking weird. I'm not smoking though, that's for sure. Okay, that's still going. He wasn't sure if she made a joke or not, but seeing her smile again made Junpei feel at ease. If she was well enough to smile and laugh, then she really was feeling much better. He gave her a friendly poke on the forehead. Let's go. Go where? Alright, I didn't tell you. We got the exit open, so... Great, let's go! Junpei clasped her hands and nodded urgently. How do you nod urgently? What the f... Narrator! As they walked back toward the exit, Junpei noticed Kok sitting on the stairs. Oh, he was holding something in his right hand and staring at it with a strange expression. Junpei and June slowed down and finally stopped in front of him. What are you looking at? Kok answered without looking up, his voice quiet. It's a photo. It's my sister. Sister? Kok, you have a sister? Kok simply nodded. Yeah. It was as cute as a button. June cocked her head confused. She was only about an inch tall then. Kok glared at her. Sorry. I guess an inch is a little large for a button. Probably more like half an inch. Kok didn't smile or laugh. He simply turned back to his picture and spoke. I was her... Kok. This sudden revelation took Junpei by surprise. He had no idea what Kok meant. He glanced at June, who shook her head. She didn't know either. We didn't have parents. They bought it in an accident when we were still kids. So I had to be like her dad. And that meant that I bought her Christmas presents every year. On Christmas Eve, I leave the present next to her pillow. And then the next morning, she'd come running into my room with a big smile. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about your fucking backstory. Or whatever the fuck. Okay, just shut the fuck up. I don't care about your character. I don't care about your backstory. I do not care about you at all. At all. Nah, I'm skipping through all of this. Like, the fuck's the point, man? The fuck's the point? Just move it along. Junpei and June looked at one another. There was nothing they could think of to say. Hey, what your... Kok says, hey, what did you do? Get this moving, come on. Kok's voice echoed across the room from above them. They nodded and followed him quickly up the stairs. Ace was waiting for them at the top. He was leaning against the handrail. He looked very tired. The door had shut, but it wasn't cause for concern. Junpei quickly solved the disc puzzle a second time, and the door opened once again. Okay, blah 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 blah. Warehouse. No, cargo room. Yeah, this is a cargo room. Okay, now they're gonna talk about how the cargo room is. Okay, don't care. Seek a way out. Open the back to the left of the 9's card. Open the back. To the left of the 9's card. Even if it kills me inside, even if it's very alive. Junpei. This one got me on it. I got 9's card, Kok's card, the 2 bags on the left side for... Okay, let's see. That's the weirdo. That's Kok. Open the 2 bags for Snake and Clover. Snake. Snake. Clover. And then we have ace, which is small box. Okay, it's electrical. But I guess I cannot do anything with the box. Interesting. Even if it kills me inside, even if I'm barely alive. Oh my god, I'm not reading all of that because I just don't like you. I hate you, as a matter of fact. Oh, the box is right here. I got ace now, which makes it 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 7. I got that one, makes it 6. And then the blue box for Lotus. There's a blue box somewhere. Blue box. This blue box? Aha, okay. Lotus card, look in the open crate for Junpei and June's card. Open the blue boxes. All 9 pictures. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Alright then. She don't respond. Sorry, gotta check on her. Counting on you. Are you alright? What happens? Junpei called out to her as he ran. As he arrived, June was climbing to her feet with Cox's help. I'm sorry, I'm fine. I just tripped. Don't give me that. Now it's not the time. But it's true. I tripped over a box. Junpei put his palm on her forehead, and temperature was much the same as it had been the last time he checked. She wasn't hot like she'd been before, but she was still warm. Her fever wasn't completely gone. I saw her fall. I think she really did just trip on something, you know. Junpei would have been more willing to agree if June hadn't needed quite so much help standing up. Still, to fall down like that, I think she probably still a little messed up. June was doing her best to busy herself brushing dust off of her dress. Her smile looked a little embarrassed and her face was a bit flushed, but she did look a great deal better than she had still. Alright, well, let's get out of here as fast as we can so we can get you to a hospital. Oh, I don't think anything that serious. I just need a little medicine and some sleep. I'll be fine. Medicine, huh? Well, if we could get in touch with anyone outside, I bet Ace could swing that for you. Easy. Ace? Why? Huh? Don't you know? He's the president of a pharmaceutical company. Cradle Pharmaceutical is the name, I think. Their flagship product is an anesthetic drug called Soporil. Soporil. Junpei couldn't shake the feeling that he heard Soporil before, so to continued Soporil. Yeah, he had that. It's an anesthetic that, whatever, a temperature similar to whatever. It takes only a few seconds to spread, and even a small amount is very effective. Okay, well, I guess Ace is now becoming very fucking suspicious because the knockout gas was just like that. For some reason, it found widespread acceptance with police and military forces in numerous countries. It was effective crowd suppressant and room cleaner. and is practical, ethical, and humane. Developed 6 years prior, it was made from the extracts of several different roots. It became popular almost as soon as it was made public, with many governments placing large orders. Demand for Soporil skyrocketed as it did, so did the stock of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Why do you know all this? Cox's information was interesting, but Junpei couldn't help but feel a little suspicious. Cox's reply was blunt and simple. I heard from the old man himself. From Ace? When? By the number 4 door at the central stairway, when we were searching the second classroom. Remember how Snake 7 and you went to door 5? I asked him what he did for a living, and he said he ran his own company. After that, we just started talking, and I guess it just came up, you know? Are you worried about something? No, nothing. As he spoke, Junpei looked towards Ace. He seemed to be having difficulty with the 9 boxes. What the hell is he doing? He turned back to June and Cuck. June, don't push yourself, alright? Yes. Cuck, could you take care of her? Sure. He gave them both the short nod. What is with you with different nods, man? And then turned and headed towards Ace. Were you also gonna nod while you're nodding at the nod? What are you doing? Ace's back was to him as Junpei approached. The older man turned around and to look at him, and his face was pale and covered in sweat. What happened? Nothing. My vision has gone rather blurry. I think perhaps because of fatigue. I can't see very well at the moment. Why can't you see well? These pictures. Ace held the cards out to Junpei, splayed out in the shape of a fan. Of a fan? What? I don't care to admit it, but I may be developing whatever. Growing old is a difficult thing. He made the best attempt he could to solve that whatever. Okay, whatever. I don't care about this. Oh, hey, would you look at that? Tits McGee. Uh-huh. Wow. Unnecessary. Oh my god, look at all that fucking... All 9 boxes open at once. He peered inside, and each box was a single pin. They looked like a little sweepings, but much thicker. Junpei collected them all quickly and shoved them into his pocket. How deep and fucking... How... Your pockets are way too much, man. Climb to the top of the stairs and touch the number pad. Okay. Yep. Yep. Oh my god. Just fucking go. Yeah, 6 holes here. And it looks like the pins which perfect fit for them. The ones you found in the 9 boxes, right? Well, we should try it. Alright, let's see what happens. I think 2, 4, and 6 should go here. On the top part, and 3, 5, 7 on the bottom part. Well, some of them lit up. Yeah, 3 and 6. I wonder if there's some kind of rule that determines which lights go on. Well, I put 2, 4, and 6 pins on the top part. Get together. You think maybe it's a digital route? The digital route. There's 12. The digital root of 12 is 3. Therefore, light 3 turns on. 15. The digital root of 15 is 16. That turns on. Makes sense. I see. Uh-huh. Okay. Chop. Chop, 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 chop. Chop, 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 chop. I do not care. Alright. Upper row. 5, 4, 1. Five, 4, 1. lower 9, 8, 7. 9, 8, 7. And then 8 to 1. 8 to 1. And 7, 4, 5. Okay. And then we have 9 to 1. Oops. 9 to 1. And 6, 4, 7. Okay. Then we have 4 is 6, 3, 4. 6, 3, 4. And 5 is 7, 4, 3. 7. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll see what happens. 9, 8, 1. Aha! And now I do it the way that it's intended. 7, 4, 3, and 9, 8, 1. Awesome! F. All the lights are on and the shutter opened. Hey, does that mean? Yeah, we gotta do it again. Man, I thought I was doing so well. Okay, so we got 9 holes and F is above them. I don't know what F means, but I do one thing. What's that? You need to stop yapping. That's what you need to do. Alright, so this is number 8. This is 1. This is 6. This is 3. 5. 7. 4. 9. 2. There we go, all pins inserted, all lights lit, we did it, the power is on now. Looks like there's electricity going to the monitor on top now. Alright, let's see if we can activate the device on top. Examine the top part panel, push all the boxes counterclockwise from A. All the green buttons, green button, red button, and a lever. What do these do? Obviously it does something like fucking... Do you really need to fucking explain every single fucking thing that you see in front of you? What do you think it does? I don't know, but I think it does something. This does something else, and this does something, while it also does something else. Oh my god. Yapping. For no fucking reason. Just shut up. Shut up. New materials added to the screen, huh? Which one, huh? Okay, this one. You can move in 4 directions. You cannot move diagonally. Okay, sure. Anything else? No. Okay. The monitor shows a top-down view of area to move the machine. And once I want to send my orders, then just pull the lever. So on the top. Push all the boxes counterclockwise to form a Starting from the top. Wait, I need to go back down then. Over here? Wait, what the fuck? Okay. Examine the top part, push all the boxes counterclockwise to form a... Okay, but where are the fucking boxes? Hello? This is the red button, it allows me to start over again. This is the return button. Alright, let's give it a try. Oh, I needed to push that thing. Just keep in mind that there is a limit on the battery. Alright, the battery dies after 50 moves. At least that's what it says in the manual. 50 moves, huh? Okay, okay. It could have been already fucking finished. Yeah, it dies with the 50 moves. But it is 15 moves. It needs to be in 50 moves. Oh, it is in 50 moves. Starting from the top. Push box D into slot 3. Then up to slot 2. Wait, which box? Starting from the reset. Okay, so these are the boxes. Starting from the top, push dogs into the third slot. Then up into 2 slot. Box A to slot 1. What is this guide? I really don't fucking get it, man. Push all boxes counterclockwise to form a... Uh-huh. Starting from the top. I did that. That one. This one is the top, ain't it? This guide is fucking cancer. That's what it is. This is the cargo room. Possible can be difficult, so below you can check a step-by-step list of every move you need to make If done correctly, you will only need to move 44 times. This is a lot, so we've broken the list down into 4 groups of 10 and one final group of 4. How the fuck is this guide? This guide fucking okay. Oh my god, this dude's fucking cancer. So you won't lose your place from looking at a giant list. Move up to 10. Once this is complete, up, right, up, right, right, down, up, right, right, down, right, down, left, up, right, down, right, up, left, down, left, up, right, down, left. There is no up. Way low, left, up. I did something wrong. Up, right, down, right, down, left, up, right, down, right, up, left, down, left, up, right, down, left. There is no up here. Man. What the fuck do you mean, man? Up, right, down, right, 3 times down, 2 times left, up, right, down, right, up, 2 times left, down, left, up, up. And then it's 3 times right, 1, 2, 3, 2 times down, 1, 2, and then it says left, up, up. What? Left. How can I go up, huh? There's a fucking thing here, you idiot! And these fuckers really think, they really think that, yeah, I made a fucking guide. People are gonna have a fucking good time with this, and it doesn't make any fucking sense. It is not right. Why aren't you just opening up when I click on a goddamn website? Come on now. This is getting so annoying. Up. Up. Damn. Right. Up. Right. Right. Down. Right. Down, down, down. Left. Left. Up. Right. Down. Right. Up. Left. Left. Down. Left. Up. Left. Up. Up. Right. 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 Down. Down. Left. Down. Right. Up. 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 Up again. Left. Left. Down. Left. Down. Right. 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 And then this fucking goddamn narcissist on the website, the gamer, was so convinced that his guide was so right. Man, honestly, all you all are just categorized as delusionals. You're not millennials, you're not Gen Z, you're not Gen Alpha, you're not whatever fucking cancerous goddamn fucking label you want to put on yourself. You're all delusionals. That's what you are. When you're like, this is the color red, and you're proven wrong that that's not the color red, you're gonna die on that hill, even though it's not even a fucking hill to die on, and it's not even a hill. Like, the fuck? I can't stand these people. I can't, oh my god, this ruined it so much. The whole guide thing, that is. What do I do next? Just be quiet and watch. Talk to me like that again, bitch, and I'll literally cut you alive. Now I need to climb the gates. Also, the push my blah 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 blah. Okay. Yeet, 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 yeet. Wahoo, wahoo. Go! Go. They walked slowly past 4 crates until they came to a coffin. They stopped and nodded to the other one. They stopped and nodded to one another. Junpei put his hand on the lid of the coffin. Just kidding. He smirked heartily at his own joke. Obviously he would. Junpei grumbled and shook his head. Whatever, just open it. Junpei resisted the urge to remind Cock that he would have had it open a long time ago if Cock hadn't interrupted, and quickly threw off the lid of the coffin. They peered inside. Contrary to what they expected, the side of the coffin was a quite large. It was mostly empty. A rusty key, and next to the key was a golden gun. It's a gun? Yeah, a revolver. A golden one as well. Looks pretty old. I wonder if this is a replica. Junpei reached down slowly and cautiously and picked up the revolver. In his hand it felt heavy. He checked the cylinder. There were 6 bullets. He'd never seen a real gun or even a real bullet. Before he couldn't even tell if these were real or not. The barrel was rifled and nothing seemed to be blocking it. As Ace has said, the gun was a very old one. However, it appeared to have been well maintained. If it was a real gun, Junpei thought it would be most likely function perfectly. If it was real, holding that gun made Junpei feel unpleasant. Carefully he placed it back in the coffin. You're just a pathetic fucking cancerous goddamn cock. You could have taken out the fucking bullets. You're not gonna take it? Of course not. All something like this is gonna do is cause more trouble. It's a powerful weapon that gives one person a huge advantage. Something like that would be way too dangerous to have around. We're in enough danger already. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Maybe Zero put the gun here hoping something like that might happen. In other words, maybe he put it here to make us fight each other. In that case, we should most certainly leave it here. I, for one, have no desire to let Zero control me. The others nodded. Again, what you're nodding? They had no desire to be under Zero's control either. Okay, we got that figured out, but you aren't gonna leave that key in there, are you? Yeah, of course not. Junpei picked up the rusty key and slid on top of the Climb on top of Grace, touch the coven, open the coven, leave. And leaving I will. The door led to a steam engine room. Alright, I need to go here, right? Put the key in there, and yes, it sounded like that did it. Looks like it's open, Jumpy. I see. The key should open this door. Hey, what are you waiting for? Let's go. Yes, it's opening. No, okay, I don't really care about another hallway being the exact same again. We got off on one on the left just a little while ago. Then we went through the number 6 door, and that took us to the engine room. And yes, after we passed through the cargo room, and now we're back here. In other words, we made a loop. We're back where we started. Junpei approached the elevator. Gently, he pushed the triangular button on the wall next to it. A moment passed. So unnecessary. The elevator door opened. The elevator door opened and shut. Pushing the button had apparently restored power to the elevator. The elevator was now functional. What do we do? Should we return to C-Deck? No, this hallway keeps going. Even if we do end up going back, I think we should see what's down there first. I agree, let's go. The decision was made. Junpei and his companions, not companions at all, left the elevators behind and continued down the hallway. Sometime later, Cock, who had been walking several paces in front of the rest, suddenly stopped. Set in the wall in front of him was a door. As far as Junpei could see, there was no other way to proceed. It was the door or nothing. Alright, let's open it. Junpei took a deep breath, readied himself, then grabbed the doorknob and pulled the door open. Pulled the door open? He's pushing it open, you fuck! He paused for a moment and stepped through the room, and there he saw the number that had hung over their heads since they woken up. 9. 9. Like the numbers on every door, this one too was rough shaped, made of red paint. Its door was set in the back wall of the room. Junpei leaped toward it and suddenly burst of hopeful energy. It was a large double door, heavy and full of solemn importance. Sure, buddy. What the fuck? He grabbed hold on the door and shook. Nothing he hadn't expected to open. The red said on the wall next to the door. The screen read vacant. Finally they found it. Junpei felt himself overwhelmed by a torrent of emotion. At last, they found the exit, but cold gripped his heart, and he knew all too well why. As he stood frozen, unsure of what to think or feel. Jimpy, look, behind you. He spun around and couldn't believe what he saw. It was a door with the number 9 written across it. Was there a second door? Why? Jimpy's voice barely audible, even to himself. He stumbled towards the second door as if somehow compelled. It was a small single door. It sat in the starboard corner of the room, on the same wall as the door they entered from, but in the opposite corner. 9. There was no mistaking it. A red sat on the wall next to the door as well. Jimpy shook the door handle pointlessly and muttered to himself. Why? Why in the hell are there 2 doors? It was Cock who answered. There were always 2 doors. Just think about it. Zero never said there is only 1 door with 9 on it. It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9. Of course, we just assumed that there was only 1. After all, why would there be more than 1? No man. Jeez, Jimpy was stunned. Zero's trick had taken him completely by surprise. There were 2 doors. That meant all the 9 people who had met at the central staircase could escape and leave no one behind. Now the real reason for the bracelet numbers being was clear. Divided in 2, the digital root for both teams would be 9. For instance, and the digital root for both would be 9. There were many other workable combinations, but they all ended in the same way, a digital root of 9. What did that mean? The answer was quite simple. From the very beginning, the non-narrative game was designed to save all 9 people. Zero hadn't been lying. Zero had never said there is only 1 door, but anyone who found themselves in the game would have assumed that that was the case. Fights would have broken out. One team would likely betray or deceive the other. Someone might get hurt, someone might get killed. But eventually they would reach the room Jimpy now found himself in, and realize the pointlessness of whatever violence they visited upon each other. There were 2 doors. No need to kill each other. They'd understand and whatever, overwhelmed with guilt and what they'd done. Perhaps that was the purpose of the game. That was how the non-airy game was meant to be played. Fortunately, they hadn't started to fight one another, or at least not yet. But if one misstep was made, if the wrong mistake happened, the stakes would rise and the noose would tighten. The thought of it sent a chill down his spine. So, what are we going to do, Jimpy? A voice broke through Jimpy's frantic thoughts. Cock's voice. It broke Jimpy back to his senses. Broth. No use worrying about the future. He needed to figure out what they were going to do next. There were 4 people in the room. Ace, Cock, Jimpy, and June. Their bracelet numbers were... The digital root would be 6. In other words, the 4 of them couldn't open a door with the number 9. But what if there were only 3? Could door 9 be opened with 3 of them? It took him no time at all to determine the answer. There was only one combination of 3 people that would be able to give it the digital root of 9. 1, 3 plus 5 equals 6, equals 9. That would mean... No. We gotta go back. That wasn't a possibility he was willing to consider. Cock and Ace agreed. Yup, I agree. We cannot leave June behind. Jimpy let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. Are you sure? I don't mind staying. June's body betrayed her true feelings. Her eyes were wet and the beginnings of tears, and her legs shook. Okay, the left hand is the first choice. It's okay. There's no way we leave you behind. Cock had said what Junpei had known the moment he realized which three people could go through the door. Besides, I'd rather drown at the bottom of the ocean than escape with this. Sasha's fast. Maybe I'll get to Atlanta. Are you sure you don't mean Atlantis? Oh right. Ha 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 ha. Perhaps it was a sort of reassurance that no one wanted to leave June behind, but Junpei laughed harder than he had in some time. Cock and Ace smiled. You guys... June blinked, tears from her eyes and bit her lip. She didn't seem to know what else to say. Very well, best we head back to C deck then. We should be able to take the elevators we passed earlier. Perhaps Clover 7 and Lotus will have returned from door 1. Even as Ace spoke, they knew finding the others wouldn't improve the situation. There was no way they could be split up into teams that could both go through the doors. Ace knew it. They all knew it. But there was nothing else they could do. They would find the other three and search for another solution. Alright, let's go. Ace looked at all three of them, then turned and headed through the door. Cock and June followed. Junpei started towards the door, then stopped. He'd been too busy with the concerns to notice the room itself. It didn't seem terribly important now, but what exactly was it? Junpei looked around the room, for the first time noticing things that weren't doors with 9 on them. A red carpet between 2 columns of wooden benches that ran the length of the room. The carpet began at the large set of double doors and ran toward the bow forward, toward or whatever the fuck. Junpei wasn't sure. Was it an altar perhaps? There was a small rectangular alcove at the end of the carpet, and inside the enclosure was a raised platform. Resting on top of the platform was a coffin. A coffin? A coffin? What on earth was a coffin doing in a place like this? But before Junpei had time to answer that question... Hey, Junpei, what the hell are you doing? Let's move. Cock's voice echoed in from the hall outside. Right, okay, I'll be right there. Junpei turned on his heel and left the quiet, somber room. Am I missing something? Was there somebody knocking on the coffin? Did I miss that? I'm gonna view that back when I'm editing. They took the elevator up to C deck. Once there, they headed back toward the main hall and the central staircase. It didn't take them long. Junpei found 7 and Lotus waiting for them. They didn't look happy. We got a problem. Clover is gone. Junpei and his 3 companions looked at one another. He turned back to 7 and Lotus. What do you mean gone? Cock, Ace and June had their own questions to ask. When? Why? You two went into door 1 with Clover, didn't you? 7 and Lotus responded as best as they could. Yeah, we went through the door together, but Clover barely spoke to us. She just did her own thing the whole time. There were 4 rooms on the other side of door 1. She wouldn't let us into the 4th room. She just said, I'll take care of this one, and shut the door. She must have blocked it with something on the other side. We waited for a while, but Clover didn't come out. We called for her, but she didn't answer, so I kicked down the door and went into the room. but it was empty. Clover wasn't there. There was a door on the other wall, and it was open. We figured she opened the door and left by herself. We ran after her, of course, but, well, obviously we didn't find her. You figured that much out. Clover's gone. Junpei thought for a moment. When did this happen? We got here just before you. You certainly have excellent timing. So you haven't searched anywhere other than near the staircase? No, we haven't. Finally, Ace spoke up. His voice had an edge of resolve and concern. Very well then, we best separate and look for Clover. We haven't much time left, let's begin. There were quick nods all around. The 6 remaining players spread out. Junpei and June ran to the large hospital room together. As quickly as they could, they searched around and under beds, in the corners. She's not here. No, she isn't. Alright, just in case we should go take a look in the shower room. The shower room? That's where her brother is. She might have gone to see him. June bit her lip. She knew, as Junpei did, that there was only one thing to see in the shower room, and it wasn't pleasant. Well, we might as well check, right? Let's go. The left hand. There was a screwdriver stuck between the door and the frame. Junpei and June slipped through the door, moved down the hallway, and stepped into the shower room. No luck. Yeah, I don't think she's here. June's voice was faint and she placed her hands over her mouth. Her face looked a little green. The stench of the room was almost unbearable. It had grown far more unpleasant since her last visit. If Junpei had eaten a lunch, he would have had difficulty retaining it. He wanted to leave the room as soon as possible, but he had to be sure. And the only way to be sure was to check the other side of the divider. Wait here. June offered no resistance and nodded weakly to Junpei as he headed around the divider. LLR. LLR. Like, what are those letters? He stopped at the corner and turned his head. At his spectacle was nowhere to be seen. The only thing on the other side of the divider was a dead body, lying in a reddish-brown puddle of drying blood. There are many ways a man can die, but the skull was... Oh my god, I don't care about your morbid nonsense. Wait. Bright white. Bones. The pieces fell into place. Junpei remembered something Clover had told him in the laboratory. My brother's left arm is... it's not like a normal person's arm. The accident hurt him really bad. To save him, they had to cut his arm off. Of course. Why hadn't he realized it earlier? Clover had told Junpei that Snake's left arm was a prosthetic. But the left arm of the corpse behind the divider was quite clearly a real human arm. Or at least it had been once. That meant the corpse. Junpei and June headed back towards the large hospital room. They stepped through the door and out of the shower room. Down the hallway they went, searching for Clover in every corner. They had reached the stairs when... Seven appeared, breathless and yelling. Junpei, June, where were you guys? He looked pale and his face was drawn. Something terribly had happened. Junpei's breath caught in his throat. Did something happen? Seven drew a shaking hand across his face and gulped down a breath of air. Clover is dead. I found her in the first classroom bathroom. I'm gonna put my headset on now, cause fuck it. All sound ceased for Junpei. The world was empty, muffled expanse. When he began to hear his own breathing. Damn. And then he began to hear his own breathing. Jun's mouth moved, but he heard nothing. She tried once more, and then her energy was gone as she collapsed against the wall. He could have helped her, but he hadn't, and now she was dead. So he stood there, frozen in place. Clover, Clover, why? Why had this happen? He forced his body to move. Each step felt like another nail pounded in into his heart. Finally, he was in front of her. He knelt and placed 3 fingers against Clover's neck. No pulse, no breath. But she was still warm, and her eyes were closed peacefully. It would have been easy to think she was asleep. Easy, that is, were not for the slowly expanding puddle of blood beneath her. He traced the source to her back, a gash just beneath her shoulder blade. Was the weapon a knife, perhaps? If it was a knife, the killer had taken it when they left. When he closed his eyes, he saw Clover's smile, her innocent smile, her energy. He would never see her smile again. He would have done something, he could have helped her. His stomach twisted itself into a sickening knot. Junpei lifted a limb from June from the floor and carried her to the bathroom. Are you alright? Oh wow, my phone was dying. I'll swap my call real quick, because I'm also in a call with my girl. I always am. All day. As much as I can. Yeah, this phone is dying. Rapidly. There we go. Are you alright? It was a foolish question and he knew it. Yes, I think so. Her voice was weak. The fever had gone down, but emotionally scars she received were not likely recede as quickly. Junpei laid his hand on her shoulder and they walked back to the bathroom. You should get some rest. Wrong way. He lowered June until she was sitting against the bed. She nodded once and stared at the floor. There were 4 others in the room. Ace, Lotus, Cock, 7. They all stared at nothing, their faces drawn and tired. They drifted into the bathroom to see Clover's corpse themselves. Once everyone was back in the bedroom, Junpei walked slowly to the center of it and looked around as the slumped figures gathered there. Who was the first to find the body? Me. Seven spoke from behind Junpei. He turned around. Seven's hands was up. Why did you come to this room? To look for Clover. Why else? I found her body in the bathroom. As soon as I did, I ran outside. I got to the top of the stairs by the casino and yelled as loud as I could. Hey guys, I found her, but it's bad. She's in the bathroom in the first class cabin. Come quick. Or something like that. Then I went back to the bathroom. Ace, Cock, and Lotus showed up real soon after that. But I guess you two hadn't heard me or something cause you didn't show. So I took off down the stairs to look for you. After that, you know the rest, right? Junpei nodded and closed his eyes. There was one more thing he needed to ask. 7. There's one more thing I'm worried about. What's that? When we finished all the puzzles in the room and got the door open, you stuck one of those plates in between the door and the frame, right? Why'd you do that? Come on, didn't I already tell you that? I did that so that the door wouldn't lock, so we could come back to this room. Oh, you think I did it? Wait, I don't know. It kinda depends on what you say, doesn't it? 7 sighed and shook his head. Follow me. There were 2 doors standing next to one another. He opened the one on the right. With the safe! Behind the door was a closet. 7 stepped inside. He stood in front of it, of the shelf that filled it, and gestured towards a small box. The box had a small metal cube. Yes, the safe! He looked at Junpei. This is the reason. The safe. We couldn't get it open when we were getting through this room. I figured there might be something pretty important in it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Besides, I figured eventually we might figure out what the numbers are for the safe. And if we did, I didn't want to screw around with door 5 again. So I put a plate in the exit door so we could get back in that way. You get it now? Junpei nodded and looked at the safe. He grabbed the handle and shook it. Nothing happened. It was locked. It had been when 7 found it. There was one change, however. Just underneath the safe was a pile of fine reddish brown powder. Rust. Junpei stared at it for a moment. Had someone opened the safe, dislodging the rust? Junpei left the closet. 7 followed him back into the bedroom. It was cold and quiet. No one spoke. They sat frozen in place by shock and grief and fatigue. The room felt tiny, oppressive, and the thick metallic smell of blood filled the room. Junpei turned and headed to the living room. Anything to get out of there. Was there some other clue, perhaps? Anything that might lead him to wherever had stabbed Clover? He took his time and examined the room carefully. His eyes caught the door. The door that led to the passageway of door number 5. Behind that door was the dead body of the 9th man. Maybe I should have taken another look at him just in case. Quietly he pushed the door open. Yeah, because the 9th man not only dropped his fucking bracelet, he also dropped the knife. The smell hit him like a blow in the face. His lungs contracted, unwilling to inhale the fetid air. Acid boiled up from the base of his stomach. What little food was there, violent froth. Okay, he was basically just, what the fuck, he was just describing the puke. Like, fuck off. Oh my god, you're also describing that shit. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit about your fucking Guru fantasy. It's gone. His bracelet is gone. Exactly. It had been there when Junpei had gone through the 5th door before. He was sure of it, right next to his glasses, but now it is gone. What about the knife? The number 9 bracelet was gone. How many times are you gonna repeat that same shit? But why had someone taken it? He was turning over and over in his mind when he heard 7's voice. Huh? Where did Junpei go? It had drifted out to him from the living room. Junpei walked slowly out of the hallway. Oh, there you are. Were you looking for something in the hallway? Several looked up as June entered the room. Did you find something? He thought for a moment before responding. No, nothing. Technically, it wasn't a lie. He hadn't found anything, in fact. That was the problem. Something he'd expected to find had been there. The 9th man's bracelet. What's up? Well, I wanted to take a look at something. What was it? 7 lead jumped back to the bathroom. As Clover's corpse came into view, He felt his heart flip and then fell to the bottom of the stomach. Something between a sigh and a groan escaped his lips. What was it that you wanted to show me? His voice was hollow and empty. I searched Clover's body again. I found this. As he spoke, he moved around Clover's head, then knelt down and flipped open her right hand. What? She was holding a piece of paper? I haven't actually looked at it yet. You didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing. He wanted to show what he meant, but it likely didn't matter. The paper was more important. He picked it up and carefully opened it. There were 2 sentences written on it. Truth had gone, truth had gone, and truth had gone. Now truth is asleep in the darkness of the sinister hand. Now the truth is asleep in the darkness of the sinister hand. What is this? Some kind of secret code? Seven peered over Junpei's shoulder at the note. Junpei stepped away from Clover's body and into the living room. He began to pace, attempting to decode the note. The first clue was hidden in the phrase sinister hand. Sinister hand means... it's the left hand. Sinister was the term for whatever meant to the left hand of the bearer of the coat of arms. The left hand, the left hand. What did the left hand mean? Junpei looked at his own left hand. At the bracelet on his wrist. Did the darkness of the sinister hand have something to do with the bracelet? He examined the bracelet closely. There were 2 whatever on either side of the face. The left and right sides of the face. Left and right. Left and right. Right and left. Truth is gone. Truth. Gone. It sounded funny. What did it mean? Truth. Gone. Maybe those 2 words. What else could they mean? What else could they mean? Could gone and truth mean? Truth, of course, meant something was correct. Something that was a fact, in other words. Something that was right. It would follow that gone meant left. After all, after someone left, they were gone. That's pretty smart, actually. In this case, however, they clearly referred to the directional hyphonyms. Whatever the fuck it's called. So that means truth is equals right, gone equals left. That seemed to make sense. Junpei looked at the bracelet again. At the 2 whatever on the left and on the right side of the face, Junpei pressed them in the following order. Press them in the following order. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Wait, hold on. So, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left. This one. Hey! No, don't fuck me over, man. Come on! I'll do it myself. And then... one after another, 8 numbers flashed on, then off, of the face of Junpei's bracelet. He checked one more time to be sure. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3. Okay. 1, 4, 3, 8, 4, 3, 4, 2, 1. Huh? Hey, what do those numbers mean? Junpei didn't answer. He couldn't answer. He had no idea what they could mean either. Besides, he was sure he would forget the numbers and the order they came in if he said anything. Muttering the numbers to himself over and over, Junpei headed toward the bedroom. One 4383421. Do I take a picture of this? I'm gonna take a picture of this just in case. Just in case. You never know. Alright. Okay. Before long he found himself in front of the safe again. Its lock was the only device he could think of that required a sequence of numbers such as the ones he just discovered. Besides, someone had opened the safe at least once already. Had Clover come to the bathroom to open it? Junpei slowly dialed in the numbers the bracelet had given him. 1 to the right, 4 to the left, 3 to the right, 8 to the left, 3 to the right, 4 to the left, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Finished. Junpei heard the small telltale sound of a lock opening. He grabbed the handle, took a deep breath and pulled it up. Inside was a piece of paper. It was roughly the size as the one Clover had been holding. Junpei picked it up. This is what it said. Fact number 1. The non-binary game was played once before, 9 years ago. Fact number 2. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. Snake! Fact number 3. It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceutical, Sentaro Hogu, Cradle Pharmaceutical Chief of Staff, Nagisa, the Cradle Pharmaceutical! I must punish them for the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. The innocent souls might be saved. I now state the truth. 0. Junpei left the closet. There were 5 people waiting for him in the bedroom. Ace, Lotus, Cuck, 7, and June. He looked at each of them in turn, then slowly placed his hands in the pockets of his vest. Sorry, but do you think you could all come with me? Come with you? I want all of you to go to the big hospital room. Why? There's something I want to be sure of. What do you want to be sure of? I want to know if the person I suspect is really the culprit. Wait, then you're saying, yeah, I think I've got it figured out. I know who killed Snake and Clover. The atmosphere in the room changed. Grief was suddenly gone, replaced by a tension of a strap of leather stretched to its limit. 5 set eyes and stared at Junpei. He pretended not to notice. Anyway, if you could all please move to the big hospital room, I'll explain everything as soon as we get there. Then, almost as if on cue, the bell began to ring. They all heard it. It was the bell from the clock in the main staircase. The bell rang 5 times, then ceased. It was 5 o'clock. They only had an hour left. We don't have a lot of time left. Let's go. Slowly, one by one, they followed Junpei out of the bedroom. Ooh, whoa. Actually, before we get started, I was hoping you could do something for me. Junpei stopped in front of door 3 and turned around. Ace, 7, Lotus, could you please place your palms on the red? Huh? Why? If we need to get to the shower room, why don't we just... No, we're not going inside. Once you've authenticated, step away from the door. Why? Please, just do it. Or perhaps you don't want to know who killed Snake and Clover. Junpei's implication was clear. Seven understood it perfectly. Fine. What about you, Ace, Lotus? Very well, sure. Quickly, they pressed their palms onto the red. Once they had finished, they stepped away from the door, as Junpei had instructed. 3 asterisks shone from the red's display panel. It's June! Junpei approached it and held his bracelet over the scanner. He made quite sure he didn't place his palm on it and instead only brought his bracelet near it. The 4th asterisk appeared. Just as Junpei had expected, it was possible to authenticate without placing one's palm on the red. So as long as the bracelet was brought near it, Junpei pulled the lever down. Door 3 opened like a hungry mouth. 9 long seconds passed. And the door shut unfed. Junpei walked slowly back to the others, who were waiting some distance from the door, talking to one another. Cock and June had joined them as well. It looked as though they hadn't found a chance to break into the conversation yet. As Junpei approached, they turned to look at him, curiosity plain on their faces. Before long, the other 3 did as well. Clearly, they were all expecting some answer. Thanks. I appreciate your cooperation. Clearly, they hoped for something more forthcoming. He continued. By the way, Ace, would you mind if I ask you something? What is it? Do you know who I am? What kind of question? Just answer it, please. Who am I? You're Junpei, of course. Who else would you be? Unfortunately, that's the wrong answer. Actually, I'm Cock. What? Ace's voice was full of surprise, but it was also tinged with confusion and fear. Everyone else looked nearly as surprised. Cock looked especially shocked to discover he was actually someone else. If he spoke, however, the trap would be exposed. Junpei quickly continued. The clothes I'm wearing I borrowed from Junpei. And the clothes he's wearing are mine. Had a little swap. That's ridiculous. Impossible. So you're saying I'm not Cock? Of course you aren't. Why? What makes you so sure that I'm not Cock? If you're a Cock, then door 3 wouldn't have opened just now. Equals 19. 1 plus 8 is 10. The digital root would be 1. But the 4 of us just opened door 3. You can't be Cock. Your bracelet number isn't 3. It's 5, right? Only then, when it was too late, did Ace realize his mistake. He set his jaw and glared at Junpei. You're exactly right. My bracelet number is 5. As he spoke, Junpei lifted his wrist up to show everyone the bright red 5 on his wrist. Sorry, Ace, I tricked you. Of course, I'm not really Cock. I'm Junpei. Who could possibly think I was? It's obvious I'm not. To think I was ridiculous, but I guess you couldn't see just how obvious it was. I asked you before, didn't I? What makes you so sure I'm not Cock? And you answered. If you were caught, then door 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now. Most people wouldn't say something like that. As their justification for why I'm not Cock, I mean, the first thing that would come to everyone else's mind wouldn't be the bracelet number. There'd be only one thing they'd say. One sentence. You don't have his face. Ace, you have pro self-capability. Am I right? Junpei's voice was quite quiet and calm. He knew the truth, so did Ace. He could hear a sudden buzz of conversation from the others. What is that? He heard Lotus begin to explain it to him. Ace glanced at them, then turned back toward Junpei and signed. Very well, I confess, I cannot differentiate human faces. Is that what this is about? You want to mock me for my disorder? No, not at all. I'm not making fun of you at all. In fact, I feel kinda bad for you. No, the reason I brought this up is that there is an excellent chance that the person who killed Snake has... Ace's face tightened, his eyes narrowed. What do you mean? Junpei leaned casually against the iron pimping of one of the beds. I'll just come right out and say it. I think it was you, Ace. You killed him. I called that though. I fucking called it. Junpei was suddenly very aware of 5 pairs of eyes on him. He had their undivided attention now. The room had grown very, very quiet. Junpei took a deep breath. That's ridiculous. What possible evidence do you... I have 3 pieces of evidence. The first, think back to a few hours ago. You made us argue over the 3 doors here in the big hospital room. There was no way all 7 people could go through them. Lotus suggested that we sacrifice one of us. Lotus looked away awkwardly. Junpei glanced at her and continued. Then you, Ace said, I'll stay here. Why would you say something like that? It's pretty simple, really. You didn't want us to see the dead body in the shower room. You see, if Ace stayed behind, then there were only 2 doors the rest of us could go through. The 2 doors the rest of us could go through. Door 7 and 8. There was no way we could get through the door 3, the shower room. You knew that, didn't you, Ace? So that's why you volunteered to stay behind. Come on now, I think that's going a bit far. I can understand if you're jealous of my bravery, but please don't devalue my actions. I only wanted to save the rest of you. Surely you can understand my altruism. Altruism, huh? Oh fuck! I dropped my phone. Fuck off. Junpei stared off into the darkness at something very interesting and lazily began to dig a persistent bit of wax out of his ear. You really knew, didn't you? You already knew, didn't you? You knew that whichever doors we took, eventually we'd end up back in the big hospital room. What on earth are you saying? Of course I didn't know that. How could I have? Really? Yes. Bleeding was not something they heard from Ace before. Junpei pulled a piece of wax from his ear, glanced at it, and flicked it out into the darkness. Ah, well, that's cool. I still have 2 more pieces of evidence that say you're the killer. The second is that, as I said earlier, you have... Then you must mean to imply that a person who can't distinguish human faces must be a bad person? Junpei, they call that prejudice. No, I'm not that stupid. Then why? Well, before I explain, I suppose there's something I should tell you. The corpse in the shower room, it's not Snake's. What? What? Ace's face went pale. The others looked confused as well if the body wasn't Snake's. I didn't put it together right away, but there was something Clover told me. She said Snake's left arm was a prosthetic. He had lost his real arm in an accident. But the body we saw in the shower room, let's call him Guy X. Guy X's left arm was definitely flesh and blood. In other words, Guy X couldn't possibly have been Snake. Oh god, no, that's impossible. Ace had stared, muttering deliriously to himself, shaking his head back and forth. Junpei was long past caring. Let's say hypothetically that the killer didn't have... whatever. If that's the case, he would immediately realize that Guy X was a snake. Even if the clothes were the same as Snake's, their faces would have been completely different. It would have been obvious they were different people. And yet, they still killed him. Why? Why would they kill a stranger who'd only shown up? On the other hand, if the killer did have, it makes sense. They thought Guy X was Snake and killed him. Wait, wait just a moment. Let's say you're right and I mistook Guy X for Snake. Even if I did, I would have had no motive to kill him. Why would I want to kill Snake? I can think of at least two motives. One, Snake knew about your past. If he ever revealed what he knew, that would have been really bad for you. You really didn't want that to happen. So, to make sure Snake's mouth stays shut, you killed him. 2. Snake had a grudge against you. You knew that, or at least you could have easily assumed he did. Even without exposing your identity, he was a threat to you. You never knew when you might be attacked. You couldn't ever let your guard down. Every moment was a moment he might try something. You didn't want that kind of danger hanging over you, so you... Hey, hold on a minute. For the first time since the beginning of Jim's explanations, someone besides Ace spoke. What's the past that Ace wouldn't want us to know? Why did Snake have a grudge against him? Look at this. He handed sent a small piece of paper. Cox squinted at the paper and began to read. The non-narrating game was played once before 9 years ago. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. It was planned by the following 4 people. What is this? Slowly Cock looked up from the paper. His eyes met Junpei. It's the message from Zero. It was in the safe in the first class cabin. Then suddenly, I got a notification about meet your future baby with AI? What the fuck was that? Whatever. Give me a break. Ace's face was red and shaking, and his face was full of fury, tinged with desperation. That paper is a lie. Someone is trying to frame me. Me. You said me, right? Junpei's eyes narrowed and the trap began to close. Ace inhaled sharply, his eyes flicked off of Junpei to anything else. Wouldn't that mean that you're admitting you are Hongu, the CEO of Crable Pharmaceutical? Or am I mistaken? It was as though a switch had been flipped. The color drained from Ace's face as he realized what he'd done. His eyes went wide. Very well, I admit that much. I'm certainly the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical. So what if I am? I don't know anything about this non-narrative game that was supposedly took 9 years ago. Everything on that scrap of paper is bullshit. Someone is trying to set me up, you see. First of all, Ace stammered as he tried desperately to work himself to a more tenable position. Junpei, you're claiming I did all of this by myself. To think that over, alright? How could I have killed Snake all by myself? Not Snake. It was Guy X. I don't care who it was. You said the killer put the other man into door 3, right? Yeah, maybe. Then I couldn't have possibly done that alone. I couldn't have opened door 3 with only myself and Guy X. Nope, you could have. What? What? Ace's face was tight, his teeth were clenched. Junpei fixed him with a level stare. The trap was about to close. Actually, Ace, when you were unconscious, I took something from you. Remember when you were injected with that anesthetic and fell asleep in the big hospital room? Yeah, back then I took this. Junpei put his hand into his pockets. No, you couldn't have. Ace's right hand moved. Junpei smiled. I got you, Ace. Your right hand there tells me all I needed to know. You want to tell me what you were so worried about? What's in your pocket? It's the number 9 bracelet, isn't it? Ace, Guy X, and the 9th man's bracelet. That was all you needed to open door 3. 1, 2, 9 equals... Yep. That's how you killed Guy X all by yourself, Ace. All you needed was the number 9 bracelet in your chest pocket. Ace lowered his hand from where it had stopped halfway to his pocket. He looked down at the floor, his face hidden from Junpei. All he could see was the corner of Ace's mouth twitching like a dying fish. If you want to play innocent, that's fine by me. Go ahead, tell me I don't have the bracelet, if that's what you want to do. But if you could take off your coat and hand it to me, I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll have to take it from you by force. Right, Seven? Yeah. It'd be my pleasure. Seven cracked his knuckles with a sound like gunfire. Ha ha ha! Ace roared with laughter. He threw his arms wide and his head back and laughed, filling the room with a sound that scarcely belonged there. Then it stopped. His arm came down and his head dropped to look straight ahead at Junpei. His face was flat and cold, devoid of any emotion. Okay. Well done, Junpei. As you so correctly deduced, I have number 9's bracelet. I retrieved it while we were searching for the missing hardware for the red. I left the room I was supposed to search and headed to the first class cabin on 8B deck. His voice showed no emotion, no sense of remorse or interest. It was almost bored, as though he were reciting a especially dull copper letter. My purpose was to obtain the number 9 bracelet. 9 is a potent ally in the non-nary game. Adding 9 to any set of numbers won't alter the digital route. Ah, as you can see, 9 is a very useful number here. With it, one can go anywhere with anyone. So I have made for the first class cabin to obtain it. Ace successfully acquired the number 9's bracelet. He also found an unexpected bonus, the knife. So you killed Clover with the knife. I called the knife part as well. The knife man had been holding. He slipped both in his chest pocket and left as quickly as he come. He walked down the stairs and headed back to where he was supposed to be. That was when he met Guy X, mistook him for Snake. Snake was on his way to the large hospital room and had not noticed Ace behind him. Ace made sure it stayed that way. He followed the man wearing Snake's clothes to door 3. When the man stopped, he walked up behind him quietly and called out, "Snake." The man turned to look at Ace. He said nothing. No words came out of his half-open mouth. He seemed dazed, somehow almost like a man half asleep. Perhaps he had been drugged. It didn't matter to Ace. Ace was certain the man was Snake. He knew Snake had been part of the non-nary games 9 years before. Snake had recognized Ace immediately, but he was blind. That much made sense. Why then hadn't Snake said anything to him? Surely he hadn't forgotten what had happened to him in the non-nary game, but not once had he attempted to confront Ace. Perhaps his lack of sight prevented him from recognizing Ace, or perhaps Snake had conspired with Zero to deceive Ace. In either event, he was a threat, and it was better to deal with him sooner rather than later. Ace's mind was all made up. He moved. He held the number 9 bracelet over the red. He waved his own bracelet in front of it, in front of the red, and finally grabbed Snake's arm and shoved his hand against the scanner panel. The door opened. He threw the man through it. 9 seconds later, the door shut. 81 seconds passed. The man inside the door passed away. After that I returned to my post, though nothing had happened. After conducting my own research, I returned to the large hospital room when the 1 a.m. bell rang. Ace's eyes were cold, and his cheeks were hollowed and pallid. When he spoke, only his lips and tongue moved, the rest of his face was eerily still. Junpei glared at Ace. He took a deep breath and thought about the next question he had to ask. He didn't want to. He knew what the answer would be. He just didn't want to hear it. Junpei swallowed and then spoke. Ace, did you kill Clover? Yes. Why? Why did you kill her? She was Snake's sister. It was possible he had told her something dangerous. Additionally, she had gone through door 1. It seemed likely she might have found it. Found what? Why don't you go through door number 1 yourself? Perhaps it's hidden somewhere. Seven and Lotus interrupted. Yeah, but Lotus and I went through door 1 too. We didn't see anything suspicious. Yes, and I thought as much after I heard your report at the central stairs. I doubt 2 of you could find it. But perhaps Clover was different. Perhaps she had found it. I was, therefore, desperate to find her. And at last I did! The first class cabin. I spoke very calmly. Did you see it? See what? Don't act as if you don't understand. You were in the captain's quarters, weren't you? Huh? What are you talking about? Very well. By the way, what are you doing here, Clover? What? Nothing. There's blood on your shoes. It looks fresh. Did you go take a look at the 9th man's corpse? I see. Your silence suggests that you noticed you saw something, didn't you? You saw his bracelet was gone. Clover ran. She made for an exit, but Ace stood in her way. You aren't going anywhere. He caught her by the collar as she passed and threw her onto the floor hard. She leaped back up and darted past him into the hallway. Ace followed at a run. He was faster. That was how I killed Clover. His face hadn't changed. If he felt guilt or remorse or anything one might feel after taking the life of another human being, it didn't show. You son of a bitch. Seven's whole body trembled with rage, and his voice rumbled with hate. Cock's eyes were bloodthirsty, and Lotus and June's faces were distorted by anger and hatred. Ace looked at them and smiled. It was a cold, crude thing with no humor in it. He shook his head and signed. I admit it, I have lost. I have lost completely and utterly. But don't misunderstand, Junpei, I didn't lose to you. I lost to Zero, not you. I'm rather disgusted with myself for falling into such simple trap. And it was a trap, make no mistake. I was trapped and manipulated by Zero. The man I killed in the shower room, if he was a snake, then I have no idea who he was. Well, he was wearing Snake's clothes, and that was no coincidence. He had also been injected with something that reduces his cognition and prevented him from identifying himself or resisting me. And we can't forget the components that were removed from Red before we arrived. I have no doubt that Zero planned all of this. Zero made sure it would kill that man. I would kill that man. It follows, of course, that Zero knew everything I would do. That I would try to take the number 9 bracelet. That I would try to kill Snake. Everything. Suddenly Junpei remembered the paper he found in the safe. He remembered the last words Zero had written on it. I must punish them for the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved, I now state the truth. And he remembered the other words he heard from Clover. I think Zero is one of us. One by one, Junpei looked at the 5 people standing in front of him. Ace, Cock, June, 7, Lotus. Zero is one of us. No, Junpei paused. There was one more person. Snake. It was clear now that the man who died in the shower was not Snake. That meant that Snake was almost certainly still alive. Perhaps Snake was Zero. Perhaps Snake had made Guy X wear his clothes so that he would appear to be dead. Where was Snake now? Perhaps he was somewhere laughing at them. If it was Zero, surely he had lied about many other things. Was he watching them? Well, I believe I finished with my confession. Why don't we get moving? He sounded as if he just finished doing nothing more exciting than describing the weather. For Cock, it was the last straw. What the hell is this shit? You aren't going anywhere, you son of a bitch. We're gonna leave your ass here to rot. Why? Because I killed Clover? That's ridiculous. Why are you all upset that I killed a little bitch? She was nothing to you. A stranger you only met a few hours ago. Am I wrong? Preach. That bastard. Seven roared and lifted his fist, likely shattered his jaw off Ace, but someone else was faster. It was Lotus. She stepped toward Ace and raised a fist of her own, and drove it straight into his nose. Huh. You got some fire, don't you? I confess, I rather like a tough woman. He sniffed and wiped a small tickle of blood from his nose with raised eyebrow. Well, maybe like another one then. No, before that, let me give you one of my own. Huh? Lotus scarcely had time to blink. Ace snagged his arm around her and pulled Lotus back up against him. In the same motion, he reached into his coke bucket. It was a gun, the revolver. Almost lazily, he tilted it to the point at Lotus' head. If any of you so much as blink, I won't hesitate to pull the trigger. I have already killed 2, no 3 people. Don't think I am not ready to make 4. 3 people? What do you mean? Very well. Let me make this opportunity to illuminate you. The person who killed the 9th man was me. Although I suppose to be more accurate, I encouraged him to get himself killed. While we were examining the main staircase, he came to me and told me his name. I recognized it at once, so I gave him a little push. Just a little white lie. It seems the settings for the dead were altered. Now it only requires a single person to deactivate the detonator in the bracelet. Investigate what's beyond door number 5. We'll meet again later. Okay, have a good one, guys. I'm going to go off ahead now. Well then. Shit, why isn't it stopping? God damn it. You lied. Open the door, help me. Oh my god, blah 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 blah. Flashback, no need for this flashback. Okay, no need. I have 4 reasons of killing him. 1, as I said before, the non-binary game. The number 9 bracelet is of utmost importance. If I had allowed him to keep such a useful tool, he or it would have become a threat to me. As such, I decided that he should eliminate early on. 2, I wanted the number 9 bracelet. If I could manage to obtain it, it would have been able to manipulate the game as I saw fit. It would be unable to acquire the bracelet unless he only was dead. Number 3, even setting aside his number, he would have been nothing but trouble for me. He was aware of my past. He knew what happened here 9 years ago. It was important that I eliminated him before he was able to disseminate this information, whatever the fuck it was called. Lastly, I wish to conduct a simple test, to see if the Nowhere game was serious or a poor attempt as a joke. I needed to be quite sure. As such, I encouraged him to act against the rules so that I might observe the outcome. Jinpei glared at him. Now look at your third motive. What the hell happened 9 years ago? Didn't I say? Non-narrative game was played. I planned it out, and I conducted its execution. Why? What on earth was I supposed to do? I don't really think I have any obligation to tell you that. Ace smirked. He was trying to provoke them, and it was working. Although Ace had paid very little attention to Lotus after catching her, the gun had never wavered from her temple. She looked quite pale, and when she spoke, her voice shook. Hey, what's with the gun? Where did she get this? Why don't you tell her that, cuck? Cuck ground his teeth and glared at Ace. On the other side of door 6, we found the gun in the coffin in the cargo room, right? The bastard must have grabbed it when we were looking. Indeed I did. It was really a serious mistake, you know? Just saying you intended to leave it behind? Ace laughed a short, deserved snort and gave Junpei a sickening, pitying look. Well, there isn't much time left. I'll be off then. Where are you going? Do I really need to explain? I had assumed it would be obvious. I have the number 9 bracelet. And now I have Lotus. That's where you're going, isn't it? And how do you know that? Cock told me about it a while when we were looking for Clover. I see. Well, you are correct. That is my destination. But now I must say goodbye. To all of you. And please don't forget my warning. Move and not pull this trigger. I don't need her alive to open the door, you know. As he spoke, Ace began beckoning towards the door, practically dragging the Lotus behind him. Tits McGee! Her tits falling out because he only has like a little piece of cloth around the goddamn tits. Fucking whore. I'm so glad. I hoped he would have pulled the trigger, man. I wanted to see her die so badly. Junpei, Cock, June, and 7 stood frozen. Ace had the face of a man gone mad. Pulled the trigger. Ace reached the exit. He forced Lotus to open it. Okay. Okay. It fell shut. Blah blah blah. Fever nonsense. Don't worry about it, I just need a little rest, I'll be fine. Don't you remember, I just needed a little rest last time. So please save Lotus. Think about what Ace already done, Junpei. What he's gonna needs from Lotus. You really think he's gonna let her just walk away? Okay, still says vacant. Engaged. It's occupied, that means Ace Lotus went through here. Yeah, it seems like it. The 7 stepped away from the door. They retreated to the center room and began to talk. What do we do now? Yeah, what should we do? The big door is still vacant, but 2 of us can't do anything with it. Yeah. First of all, your digital route is not 9. There was a noise like something hitting a thick wooden panel. Yeah, the coffin! The coffin! How? By force. I forget. Anyway, we gotta try. Junpei 7 left at the coffin. They grabbed and hold what they grabbed hold of what purchase they could find and pulled. Didn't I tell you, if you could just pull it open, we wouldn't have something like that. The keypad on the side of the coffin. Right, so unless the right password, it's not gonna open. The noise hadn't stopped. In fact, as it continued, it only got louder and more forceful. What were they supposed to do? Junpei wondered. Was there some sort of clue somewhere? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. They stood there for a few moments staring at the coffin, and then Seven spoke. Hey Junpei, I remember you mumbling about some weird numbers over at the bathroom, first class cabin. You got those numbers by solving the secret message Clover was holding, right? Truth had gone, or something like that. Yeah, that's right. What about it? Well, maybe the numbers on the passcode for this thing too. Come on, that's impossible. Those numbers were the code to unlock that safe. Yeah, but the person who set up that safe and this coffin is the same person, right? Zero set up both of these. Yeah, probably. Well, then they might have set the same passcode for both of them. That's ridiculous. Why don't you just try it? I mean, it's not like we make anything worse. It'd be a waste of time. There's no... how do you know that? You never know until you try. The only necessity for success is willingness to suffer 100,000 failures. Who said that? You. Oh, fine. He knelt down the keypad and looked at it. He repeated them so many times the numbers usually come to join. Okay. Quickly type them in. He checked that he entered the right numbers and a deep breath, and then he pressed the E button. It only took a moment. What? You gotta be kidding me. There was a click. And with a heavy clunk, the lid of the coffin slid open onto the floor. Someone sat up from inside. Snake! You... why? Ah, those voices. Junpei is 7. Unless I'm mistaken. Where are the others? Are they elsewhere? Of course. There was no reason Snake would have known anything about where anyone else would be. Junpei and 7 looked at one another. There was a great deal he needed to know, but... He had to tell us something, however, so they began to talk. Snake explained to them how he came to be locked up in the coffin. Apparently, he had been hit with some sort of a knockout gas. And Junpei and 7 explained what had happened to the rest of them. There was one thing, however, that neither could bring themselves to say, that Ace killed Clover. They feared the Snake knew he might well go insane. They decided so much took the Snake that he climbed out of the coffin. Snake's story explained frustratingly little. Zero's true identity was a mystery, as were his intentions. Why had Zero put Guy X in Snake's clothes? If Zero had left a note for them to say the non-linear game had been played 9 years ago before, was there some connection? Junpei put the question to Snake. He answered was less than illuminating. What are you talking about? Apologies. I apologize, but I have no idea what you're saying. It seemed as though Snake was perhaps not being entirely honest, but that knowledge did Junpei 7 a little good. No matter how many times they asked, he insisted that he knew nothing. It was becoming clear that Snake wouldn't give in, and every second they spent asking him was a second wasted. Their time was limited. the time limit was fast approaching. Snake's release from the coffin had changed nothing. They still needed to follow Ace as quickly as possible. However, they stood in silence, the overpowering atmosphere in the chapel almost stifling. Jinpei 7 and Snake simply stood at a loss for what they should do next. What do we do now? He glanced over at Snake's wrist. Sure enough, he could see the 2 on the bracelet of Snake's wrist. The 3 of us can make the digital root of 9. Yeah, we just get 5. We're stuck here then. Oh, hey, I just remembered something. 7 began patting his pocket as if he were checking something to see if anything... What? What is it? I found something earlier. What did you find? This. He finally found the pocket he wanted. And his hand dove into it. 7 pulled out something round and metal. A bracelet. There was no mistaking the number glowing at them from the face like a cartoon eye. 0. Zero's bracelet. What the hell? Are you saying that 7 has the number 0 bracelet? Yeah. Where did you get that? Snake's question was innocent enough, but if he learned the truth, if he'd been able to see, he would have noticed 7 look away. Clover gave to me. She did? Yeah. How did she come by it? Well, she found it, see? On the other side of door 1, A deck, in the captain's quarters. She asked me to look onto it cause it was too big and bulky for her to be lugging around. It was a lie, and Jinpei knew it. I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing. Alright, Jinpei. Been nice knowing you. What? What? 7 plus 2 equals 9. Come on, man. I'm just kidding. Still, just in case, I want to make sure the 0 bracelet gets picked up by the red. Snake, give me a hand, alright? Without waiting for a response, he started walking toward the door. Jinpei and Snake followed him quietly. Before long, they found themselves in front of the larger door of the 2. Whatever the fuck, I read that wrong, doesn't matter. 7 and Snake in the palm. Why isn't it opening? Well, the 3rd oscillator lit up, so it must be registered the 0 bracelet. Maybe it isn't actually 0, huh? What? That bracelet may not actually produce a number 0 when scanned. That is what I'm saying. Why don't we try different combinations? Perhaps we can determine what number the bracelet actually contains. Jinpei nodded. They decided to use the following combination. Jinpei 7 and the bracelet. Jinpei 7 and the mysterious bracelet. The combination, if the combination worked, then the mysterious bracelet's number was 6. They scanned in their bracelets. It's June. It's fucking June. It's June. June is 0. It opened. Yes, so it would seem 7 clearly hadn't thought their experimentation would produce anything useful and looked rather confused. Snake was, as usual, calm and smug. The door slid closed. Jinpei's forehead furrowed as he thought. That means the number of the mysterious bracelet was 6. But how could it be 6? The display on the bracelet clearly showed a 0. Suddenly, from somewhere far beneath them, they hear the creak and groan of tearing metal. With it came the sound of water pouring into the parts of the ship that had until recently been dry. Oh man, that's not good. I guess our time's just about up, huh? At any rate, we know that the door can be opened. Let's go. But, Snake, are you sure? Yeah. You know that only Junpei and I can go through this way. You need you needn't worry. I have a solution to this problem. My last resort. But if now it's not the time for the last resort, then when? Last resort? Bruh, what about the arrests? What about the rest? Jinpei 7 and Snake ran full tilt down a long straight hallway. They were headed... Okay, you know what? I don't care. You just took his arm off, pretty sure. Yeah, the person's arm is a fake arm. Split the braces off and tossed it into the coffin where he had gone. He had a little time to fear for a number of doors. Yeah. What about the rest? The red incinerator. Oh man, it doesn't sound very pleasant. Do you see a lever in the gate somewhere? Yeah, right here. How do you know that? Lever regulate. With the story, I imagine this should take half a day or so. Ace still held the revolver in his hand. It was still pressed hard against Lotus' temple. A smart dark bruise had begun to form near the tip. Even from several yards away, Junpei could see that Lotus was shaking. But her tits were jiggling as fuck. She was terrified. But perhaps more interesting was that Junpei was behind them. 9. Another 9 door. But why? Why was there another one? The door stopped Junpei in his tracks. It simply shouldn't have been there. As his brain finally began to consider why, the whine of a warning klaxon filled the air, drowning out any thought. Warning, warning. Emergency incinerator command has been acknowledged. Automatic incinerator will take place in 9 minutes. Please evacuate incinerator immediately. Oh my, how exciting. You've run quite a show here, Zero. A terrifying smile twisted on Ace's face. What's the matter? Too frightening to understand? Here, let me explain. It's said that the incinerator system is about to activate in 9 minutes. This room will be engulfed in flame. Huh? Who are you? You don't recognize me? I'm hurt. It's me, Snake. Snake? Ah, yes. You're still alive. I'm afraid your bizarre style had me confused. I'm quite glad to see you're alive. Ace's voice didn't change. Snake ground his teeth. If you don't mind asking how you get here, Snake Junpei 7. The third of you couldn't have opened the door with 9. Did you use Clover's bracelet perhaps? What? Well, your reaction suggests that you did not. Hold on. Why did you think we have Clover's bracelet? Junpei felt his chest tighten. Oh, they have told you? They told me what? Clearly not. Normally, I would have taken the time and enjoyed the moment, but I'm afraid the time is at premium just for now. I'll just have to make this quick. Clover. Don't do it, Ace. Keep your goddamn mouth shut. Clover, I said stop it. Don't listen to him, Snake. Junpei could feel his voice going hoarse. But Snake didn't listen to him. What happened to Clover? Ace looked at him. The corner of his mouth curled in the hook of the cruel smile. Clover died. The color left Snake's face. He shook his head weakly. No, that's not true. That's impossible. It's a lie. It has to be a lie. Oh, it's quite true. I can assure you that I killed her myself, you see. What? I'm sorry, did I stutter? I killed her. Snake's face twisted into a mask of rage, molten red rising to a dot of his pale skin. His entire body shook. He looked to Junpei disturbingly like a demon. I would have rather she died with less suffering. A bullet in her brain perhaps would have been ideal. Unfortunately, that would have been made quite a bit of a noise. Circumstances being what they were, I was forced to settle for the knife. The one the ninth man had, you remember? I believe I caught her just below the shoulder blade. I was rather lucky, in fact. My first thrust went straight between her ribs. Hey yo. Her flesh was so soft. My knife slid in so easily. There was no resistance. That feeling was, I confess, I feel rather excited. It's a powerful memory. Someday perhaps I hope I can feel it again. 7 minutes. I'm going to kill you. Growl, barely audible. I'm sorry, what? I'm going to kill you. Ah, so you're going to kill me. Please do. Come on, come now. I'm waiting. Don't do it. Don't listen to him, Snake. Stop it, kid. He's screwing with your head. Is there a problem? What are you waiting for, boy? Don't you want me to send? Don't you want me to send you to join your sister? Don't, Snake. Don't do it. But Snake could no longer hear them. Snake could no longer hear anything. Snake moved like a bolt of lightning. His scream echoed to the incinerator chamber, full of rage and despair. KO! Winner. Lotus could have literally kicked him in the balls right now from the moment he shot the gun. Oh, okay. Snake's ill-fated attack. Okay. She reached 7 and Junpei and ducked behind them. Junpei could feel her fingers on his arm tight enough to be painful, keeping him between her and Ace. 5 minutes. Give me the woman. Erase the gun. I need her. Without her bracelet, I will be unable to open this door. Quickly now. I don't have time for your shenanigans. In the center of the room, Snake's body lay eerily still. Okay. So this is how it ends, I guess. I read enough. This is enough. There's no more options anyways. What? No, that's impossible. For the first time, Ace's composure broke. With obvious effort, Snake lunged forward, one step closer to Ace, then another. He looked for all the world like a zombie. I kill you. I'll kill you. His voice was mournful, wailing of the undead. Stay away from me. Get back. Stop. If you come any closer, I'll get away from me. Little by little, Ace was retreating. Snake didn't stop. He continued his stiff, whatever approach, his eyes twin pools of pure fury. Listen to me. I said, don't come any closer. Shit, you bastard. Ace's revolver leapt 5 times. 5 times the air incinerated was split by the crack of a bullet. Snake's body twitched as 5 clouds of blood and torn flesh leapt into the air across his body. Oh my god! Can you not? Then his strength was gone, his legs crumbled, and his broken, battered body slid onto the floor. 3 minutes. But Snake wasn't done. Even as the pool of blood beneath him grew, he began to move. He half crawled, half slid towards Ace. One bloody arm wrapped itself around Ace's leg, and the other gripped his thigh with strength that should have been long gone. You son of a bitch! You're a monster! Get off of me! Let me go! Damn you! He kicked at Snake's. He kicked at Snake with his free leg, driving his foot at the Snake's face, his arm, his shoulder. It made no difference. Snake refused to release him. Once a snake has ensnared its prey, rarely does it release it. This is it, Ace. We're going to burn to death together. What? Incinerator will begin in 2 minutes. Yeah, damn it, you get off. Let me go, you monster, says the monster. Okay, look, think about this way. My company owns a wonderful hospital. It has excellent daughters. You're not wounded too seriously. I'm sure they can fix you up easily. You don't have to die. You can be saved. Just let me go. Pathetic. Begging for your life. That's true, man. I mean, you fucking bitch-ass fucking murderer. Then 7 Elotes began to speak. Junpei could hear tears in their voices, and their words were strained. Snake, that's enough. You can stop now. Yes, he's right, Snake. You've done enough. Come on, Snake, let go. Let's get out of here. Man, what the fuck are these fucking bitches doing? Oh, let Snake do this. Snake needs to do this, you dumb fucks. Fucking hell, man. Oh my god. No, good. I'm good. Nope. Bye. I couldn't save Clover. My sister died because of me. Perhaps this will begin to atone for that. Perhaps in the afterlife she can forgive me. Now go. Go now. You have to go. Incinerator will begin in 1 minute. Goddamn shit, we're out of time. We have to go. What about the other two? Junpei, what are you doing? You have to get out of here now. Snake. Wait, don't be an idiot, Junpei. Yeah, honestly, man. Don't blame me for this, alright? 5, 4. Gah. Yeah, this is all unnecessary. Why? Why me? I don't deserve this. Answer me, Zero. Why? Zero. Where's Snake? Zero. I mean, there are no more choices left anyways. Chop. Come on. It still says that this is a bad end, right? But it's called the safe letter ending. It's a safe letter ending, right? And then all the way underneath it says bad end. June, cuck. He kept calling and walked to the center of the room. But try as he might, he could not find them. Ugh, damn it. Where did it go? Increasingly frustrated and increasingly worried, Junpei left the large hospital room. He had no choice. You would have to look for them. Jim's heart was heavy. He couldn't shake the feeling, but there was part of okay, blah 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 blah. He was looking everywhere. Looking everywhere. Jimpy found himself at the shelf. He stepped inside, expected to find nothing, but there on the red carpet in the center of the room. June. No, code names didn't matter any longer. She was Kenny. Kenny! Junpei cried her name and ran. Like lightning, he ran across the room toward her. Oh man, Kenny. He stumbled to a stop. As he looked down at her body lying still on the floor, he felt an icy grip of fear upon his heart. She was still, so very still. No, it couldn't be, it was impossible. Slowly Junpei bent down toward her. His hand shook as he felt very cold and very hot at the same time. He forced himself to look. Her back. Her back was moving. Slowly. It rose and fell. Relief washed over him. Kenny. Junpei reached down and gently, very gently lifted her up. Kenny. Kenny! Are you alright? Junpei. Her face was pale and her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They stared straight at Junpei but saw nothing. Trembling, Junpei wrapped his arm around her back. She was cold, very cold. Junpei tried to convince himself that it was only his imagination, but she felt as though she was fading away. He could feel his heart pounding frantically in his chest. Oh man, Kenny, what the hell happened to you? You feel, Junpei, I'm sorry. Her voice was very faint. I might not make it. No way. No way I'm gonna let you die. Gonna save you, I promise. Thank you, Junpei. Thank you so much for everything. I was really happy to see you again, Junpei. Really, really happy. Don't give me that I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots of more times. You've gotta hang on. Alright, Kenny. Junpei, did you know? You meant a lot to me when we were kids. I liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time. Junpei's vision had gone blurry. Why the fuck is she dying out of fucking nowhere? Like, the fuck, are you sick? Like, what the fuck's the point of this? He looked down at Akane. Game over. There was a crack of static from above his head, and a voice spoke. 0. You son of a bitch. Where are you hiding? Junpei frantically scanned the ceiling for a source of his voice. I am right here. I've always been close to you. What the hell are you talking about? No matter. I will tell you again. Game over. This game has ended. No, it hasn't. I'm not gonna let it end yet. I'm gonna get out of here with Kenny. You can't. That's impossible. Why? Because you chose the wrong path. The wrong path? That is correct. Your path was inevitable, however. Admit defeat. Where there is shadow, there is light. Where there is light, there is shadow. So it goes. What are you talking about? It matters not. The loser has been decided. I told you, I'm not gonna lose. No, you misunderstand. You haven't lost. I have lost. What? Junpei didn't have the time to ponder what that meant before. He heard the door slam shut behind him. He spun around. There was no one there. Was it 0? Kenny, wait here. I'll be right back, I promise. She managed a single nod. Junpei laid her on her back gently and leapt for the door. He yanked it open and shot outside. No one. Kenny? And she wasn't there. She wasn't anywhere. She'd been lying on there on the floor just now a moment before, and now she was gone. Oh god. No, no. Where is she? Kenny. 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 Kenny! His cries split the heavens themselves. He screamed until his voice gave out. Then he screamed some more, but there was nothing. No answer. His voice faded away and all that remained was a cold, unfeeling silence. What the fuck? Where the fuck did she go magically? Then that was when he noticed it. A strange smell, one he smelled before. Where the fuck was he? The smell of particular white smoke. Where the fuck did she go magically? This is bullshit. 9 seconds later, Junpei's mind winked out. What the fuck is this nonsense? Where the fuck did she magically go? She can't go through any fucking door. What the fuck? This has gotta be one of the most bullshit nonsense I have ever played. This is so fucking nonsense. This is the most fucking nonsense ever. What the fuck is this? It is so weird. It's so fucking weird. Where the fuck did the body go magically? The end? Or is it? I don't know. How the fuck am I supposed to know?